Have you felt since awakening the people closest to you feel distant, like the conversations don't land anymore, and the connection that once felt unshakable is quietly slipping away? If you have, you're not alone. Let's talk about why this is happening. When awakening first arrives, it feels like a gift. A doorway opening into something vast, beautiful, and radiant. For a moment you glimpse infinity, alive, connected, and filled with wonder. But then something strange happens. The gift that felt like pure joy begins to unravel the life you knew. The relationships you thought were forever start to crumble. Friendships feel hollow, as if you're no longer speaking the same language. Your job feels like a prison you didn't even know you were in. Everything starts to shift, quietly but powerfully, like tectonic plates moving beneath the surface. The ground cracks. The life you built no longer fits around who you're becoming. And it feels cruel. Why would the universe give you something so luminous, only to strip away the very things that gave you stability? It's like a butterfly dissolving inside the cocoon. From the outside it looks like destruction. From the inside it feels like death. And in those moments you might long to go back to sleep, to unawaken, to slip into the comfort of who you were before. Because when the magic returns, it doesn't just bring light, it burns away everything that cannot survive its fire. What feels like punishment is actually mercy. Awakening isn't something you can bolt onto your old life. It isn't sprinkled on top of the same relationships, the same habits, the same illusions. Awakening is demolition. It clears out what cannot stay. Think of it this way. Light doesn't negotiate with shadows, it simply reveals them. And once you see what's false, you can't unsee it. The relationship that once felt secure suddenly feels suffocating. The dreams you thought you wanted dissolve because they belong to who you used to be. It feels cruel because the ego grieves, it clings, it says, without this, I am nothing. But the deeper self, the part of you that woke up, knows better. It knows you can't carry dead weight into a new life. This is why the universe strips you bare, not to punish you, but to carve out the space where truth can finally live. And later you realize, everything that fell away was never really you. It was only ever a costume, a character you had to play until the play was over. Awakening is the curtain call. Here's something few admit. Most relationships are not built on truth. They're built on timing, comfort, hormones, and loneliness. On the unspoken bargain, if you play your role, I'll play mine. Two egos hold each other up like leaning walls. It feels like love because it's familiar, predictable. But then awakening comes, and suddenly you don't want to play the part anymore. You don't want a bargain, you want truth. And the painful thing is this: the person you thought was your soulmate may never have been walking the same path. You may have been bound not by spirit, but by fear. This is why so many relationships collapse during awakening, because awakening doesn't create incompatibility, it reveals it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You can't pretend shallow conversations nourish you anymore. The truth is, many relationships survive only while both people stay asleep. The moment one wakes up, the illusion shatters. And that shattering feels like loss. But really, it's freedom. Because love isn't ownership. It's not I'm yours and you're mine. That's just another mask. Real love is recognition. I see you, not the role, not the mask, you. Anything less than that will dissolve. When awakening tears down your life, it can feel brutal, like the universe has betrayed you. You taste a glimpse of higher truth, and then suddenly your relationships crumble, your routines collapse, the life you clung to slips away. It feels like punishment, but what if it isn't cruelty at all? What if it's mercy in disguise? Because what the universe takes from you are the things that could never have lasted. The masks, the bargains, the roles you forced yourself to play. Yes, losing them hurts. It feels like death, because in a way it is. The death of the false self. You ask yourself, why would existence do this? Why give me vision only to tear my life apart? The answer is simple. Because illusions cannot survive truth. This is why it feels disorienting. You didn't just lose a partner or a lifestyle. You lost a whole version of yourself. The you that once believed comfort mattered more than truth. And now, bare and emptied, something pure can finally emerge. So grieve, rage, mourn the life you thought you had, but also know, the loss is not punishment, it's the doorway. The cruel mercy of awakening is that it takes what you were never meant to keep, so you can step into what you truly are. Most of us grew up thinking love meant possession. You are mine, I am yours, and these are the rules. At first it feels comforting, but often it's just fear dressed as devotion. The fear that without another to validate us, we'll vanish. So we build cages for each other. We mistake the bars for safety. We call it tradition. But awakening cracks those cages wide open. It shows you that real love is not a contract. It doesn't cling, it doesn't demand. Real love is wild, it overflows. When you see another soul clearly, beyond all masks, what arises isn't possession, it's reverence, the joy of recognizing yourself in them. That kind of love doesn't bind, it frees. Love is not scarce, it's the fundamental current of existence. The more you give, the more flows through you. So yes, old relationships may fall away, but the love itself does not. It only grows freer and more radiant. Because love was never about clinging to one person, one story. Love is what happens when you let life breathe through you. And once you know that, you can never go back to the cage again. When the old life falls away, it can feel like you're left in ruins. Friends drift, lovers fade, even family no longer recognizes you. And the silence can be overwhelming. You ask yourself, did I do something wrong? Am I broken? But solitude after awakening is not abandonment. It's spaciousness, a clearing so something deeper can emerge. When you step away from the noise, you begin to notice what was always there, the hum beneath reality, the way the night sky looks back at you, the way synchronicities guide your steps. Loneliness says, I need someone to fill this silence, but solitude says, I can finally hear what the silence is saying. And you realize, the path may look empty, but in truth, it's overflowing. Every being you meet along the way, the stranger's smile, the gaze of an animal, the words of a teacher in a book, they are all reflections of the same infinite presence, So yes, the false companions of ego fall away, but what's left is not nothing. What's left is everything. And you discover a paradox. You walk the path alone, but you have never, even for a moment, been lonely. Spiritual awakening isn't gentle. It isn't incense and soft light. It's raw, it dismantles. It doesn't just take relationships. It takes dreams, beliefs, whole versions of you. And in the middle of it, it feels cruel. You think, I'm broken, I've ruined it all. But you're not broken. You're being remade. The ego identity, the stories and attachments you once called me, cannot survive awakening. It has to dissolve. And yes, it hurts, but what's really happening is space is being cleared, space for what was always there beneath the noise. So if you're in that place now, where everything seems to be falling apart, hear this. You are not being punished. You are being set free. And you're not alone. Every soul that has ever awakened has walked through this fire. It's not your ending, it's your beginning. So breathe, take heart, and trust that even as the old falls away, the new is quietly being born. Not outside of you, but within you, the real you, the one that came here to remember. This is a journey, and you are exactly where you need to be. If this spoke to you, stay with me. There are more conversations to come. You don't have to walk this path alone. Until next time, be gentle with yourself, and remember, you are not broken. You are becoming.